Now the next one's very good, and it's not just for bragging rights. The Triple Crown Heavyweight Championship, All Japan's top prize, is on the line. Yuji Nagata for New Japan challenges the All Japan Heavyweight Champion Minoru Suzuki. These two were seniors together in 1986, and Suzuki beat Nagata twice in their amateur wrestling tournament. It was a Tokyo high school tournament, and then he beat him again. Suzuki beat Nagata again at the Japanese sectionals, which I think we call that regionals here. But yeah, it's just kind of I would obviously the next level above being the top high school wrestler. And then Nagata went on to represent Japan in Greco-Roman wrestling over the next few years at Asian and World Championship tournaments before joining New Japan in 1992. And then he became popular during the UWFI invasion of New Japan in 1995 because he was able to adopt that shoot style and really kind of fight on the side of New Japan against those shoot style guys and have some really good matches. Then in 1999, this is just a quick history of Nagata's career. In 1999, he had a run as a tag team champion with Nakanishi, who remains an ally for him. In 2001, Nagata won the 11th G1 Climax tournament, and he won the heavyweight championship, the IWGP heavyweight championship, for the first time and so far the only time in 2002. His MMA career was short but insane, going 0-2 against legendary heavyweights Mirko Cro Cop and Fedor Emelianenko, both fights being stopped in the first round. He's also had some matches in All Japan and Noah, but he is, at this time, really very much not the top guy, but a top guy for New Japan. Minoru Suzuki in the red corner, the co-founder of Pancrase, one of the first mixed martial arts organizations in the world. He fought in legitimate contests for the majority of the 1990s. He returned to pro wrestling and to New Japan Pro Wrestling in 2003. He was originally a part of the company in 1988. But he was quickly drawn into the shoot style wrestling that was getting big around that time, before making the full leap into the full contact competition with Pancrase. So that was in 1993 that Pancrase started. And most of those fights were real. Or at least, Pancrase is an interesting transition from real to fake, if I may use those terms. Because you've got, so shoot style wrestling, right? And then you've got MMA. Or Pancrase is a good example, the early Pancrase in real fights, because it's got that no punches rule. So it is pro wrestling, it's just real pro wrestling. Funnily enough, there's no Irish whips in Pancrase. But what I found interesting about it was that guys like Suzuki and Funaki and Shamrock were so far above some of these guys in terms of talent that the other guy thought they were in a real fight. But say Suzuki, for example, would just, in the spirit of pro wrestling, allow the guy to get more offense in than he otherwise would. Like, Suzuki could crush him in 14 seconds, but that wouldn't be as interesting for the fans. And of course, he has a stake in the company. He wants the fans to be entertained. He wants their money. He wants them to come back. So he, takes a couple bumps, lets the match go on a little bit, creates a little drama, and then finishes him, 5-10 minutes into the match. So it's still a real fight. And Suzuki isn't giving away to the audience that he isn't really struggling. But it's like a one-sided work. And I think that's it's interesting when you look at pro wrestling on this spectrum of between the, when it's shoot pro wrestling, real MMA, whatever, and then you slowly come back and, Pancrase would be up there, just kind of half real, and then there's just maybe the finish is real, like in the UWFI match when Takada knocked out, who did he knock out? He knocked someone out for real with a head kick, just bang, just to legitimize what they were doing. I don't know, it's just interesting, that spectrum of things, but I'm off on a tangent, my apologies. So Pancrase started in 1993, but yes, like I said, Suzuki returned to New Japan in 2003. He attempted a shot at the IWGP heavyweight title in 2004, but he lost that. Then he started to work for Noah Suzuki. 2006, he started predominantly working for All Japan. A feud quickly developed between he and the current Triple Crown champion, Taiyo Kea, which culminated in Suzuki taking his title. Sorry, the former Triple Crown champion. Taiyo Kea is in the next match. Of course, Suzuki's the champion in this match. I've just said that's what this match is for. So Suzuki took that title just in September, and he's only defended it once so far against Rosie. So this is his second title defense, Minoru Suzuki, of the Triple Crown Heavyweight Championship. And for those playing at home, on New Japan World, Suzuki is wearing his customary black trunks, he's got short black boots, and a murderous facial expression. Nagata is in the dark trunks, or he's in dark trunks as well. He's got white patterns on him, and knee-high boots. So, the match. They waste little time in laying into each other. Suzuki fakes out a running move to the corner and sarcastically slaps Yuji with a signature Suzuki grin across his face. The fight spills outside and Nagata cops a stiff chair shot across his head, busting open his forehead. Nagata tries to return to the ring. He's dripping blood down his face. He's kicked off the apron and stomped against the guardrail. So this one's vicious and violent very early. Suzuki reaches for another chair, but the referee intervenes this time, gives Nagata enough time to launch a counter-attack. Nagata lifts Suzuki and drives him down onto the concrete with a brainbuster. Finally, the match returns to the ring. Both men now busted open. Suzuki busted open from that brainbuster. That's a lot of busting. Stiff kicks put Suzuki in further trouble. Nagata grabs the arm and his eyes roll back as he cranks on the shoulder joint of Suzuki. It lasts some time before Suzuki can find the ropes, so it must have done considerable damage. Suplex goes wrong for Nagata, though, and he cops a running knee to the jaw. They both rise together. They begin testing each other's resolve with slaps back and forth. Suzuki hits several in a row, followed by a knee, and then finally the Gotch pile driver. But he's slow to make the cover, and Yuji kicks out at 2. Though the fans thought little of it, at least judging by what they expressed audibly. Nagata fires back up. He trades stiff slaps again. Yuji catches a kick and follows in with a jumping knee that knocks Suzuki down. There's another brainbuster, but that isn't enough. Nagata picks Suzuki up for the backdrop driver. That should be it, but Nagata's not done. He stops the pinfall himself and waits for waits for Suzuki to rise. Nagata waits for Suzuki to rise. A stiff kick seems to just wake Suzuki up. As he kicks out at 1, he comes bounding forward with desperate slaps. Nagata knocks him back down, goes for the backdrop again, but Suzuki slips out, gains control of the sleeper hold, and the crowd do react to that. Suzuki flips Nagata over with an impressive throw while in the sleeper and attempts to take his back on the ground, but Nagata fights the grip, nearly gets out. His persistence, it's persistence from Suzuki that wears him back down. And Nagata goes out from the choke. The referee stops the match. Suzuki emerges the winner, retaining his title. And I thought this match was very good. I'm a big fan of both of these guys. I think this was a memorable battle. They clearly had something to prove to one another, and perhaps that's what got in Nagata's way in the end. And I liked that the referee stopped the match as if it were an MMA fight, because, the old school pro wrestling, the way pro wrestling used to treat, or, currently treats chokes in some places with the 3 drops of the hand. I mean, realistically, that would generally result in death. So I kind of like that he saw Nagata was out, he stopped the match straight away.